You are not losing because you are weak. You are losing because you stay predictable. You stay readable. You stay reactive. You keep handing loud people what they want most: your attention, your approval, your emotional movement. You call it being mature. You call it being respectful. You call it being the bigger person. That is the story you tell yourself, so you do not have to face the real reason. You were trained to be helpful, obedient, and agreeable, not powerful. Look at your day. At work, someone speaks over you in a meeting. You feel that slight heat rise in your chest. You try to jump in faster next time. You talk more. You explain more. You bring more evidence. You think that will fix it. It does not. The louder person does not respect your information. I appreciate the fact that you are fighting for space in their frame. You stepped into their court. You handed them authority. In relationships, you know the moment the tone shifts, the questions start. Why did you not answer? Where were you? Who was that? You try to calm it down. You over-explain. You show screenshots. You prove innocence like you're on trial. You think you are building trust. You are creating a habit where you are being evaluated instead of evaluating. With friends or family, it is the same game in casual clothing. Someone throws a jab, a joke that is not a joke, a small disrespect wrapped in laughter. You laugh too. You want to keep the peace. You swallow it. Then you go home and replay it in your head. You imagine what you should have said. You think the moment passed. It did not. The moment set a rule. The rule is that you accept their frame of reference, and you keep doing it. You keep giving the aggressive mind the one thing it cannot create on its own: your reaction. This is why calm minds break aggressive ones, not with anger, not with speeches, not with moral lectures, with control, with silence, with refusal, with the ability to watch someone swing at the air and tire themselves out while you stay still. Machiavelli noted what most people refuse to admit: power is not given to the best person. Power is taken by the person who understands how people move. People do not follow the truth. People follow certainty. People do not submit to kindness. People submit to authority. And authority does not come from noise. It comes from the one who does not need to prove anything. You want reality. Here it is. Aggressive people are not strong. They are hungry. They are unstable. They are unstable to control because they cannot control themselves. Their volume is not confident. Their volume is a tool. They push. They provoke. They test. They escalate. They are trying to pull you into their storm because inside it, they can rule. Most of you will hear this and get uncomfortable. You will tell yourself, this is negative. You will call it toxic. You will leave because leaving feels clean. It feels moral. It feels safe. That is precisely why you stay controlled. You prefer comfort over clarity. If you stay, you are not here to be inspired. You are here to see the game. And if you see it, you cannot unsee it. If you ignore it, you remain managed. You remain negotiated with. You remain tolerated. You become the man people use when they want stability and replace when they want excitement. Put your phone face down and listen. Because what I am going to say is not advice. It is a description of how dominance works when you remove fantasy. You will hear 7 shifts, 7 reversals. They will feel cold. Good. Cold is clarity. If this hit you, write, I am the strategist once in the comments to mark the day your mindset changed. Now listen closely. The first thing you must see is that aggressive people win by making you move first. They win by creating urgency. They win by triggering your need to correct misunderstandings. They win by making you explain. Explaining is submission. Explaining is accepting that they deserve a response. Explaining is that you're taking the role of the defendant while they become the judge. You have seen it at work. Someone challenges you in front of others. They do not even challenge the idea. They challenge you. Are you sure? That does not sound right. Do you even have the numbers? The average man panics. He speeds up. He talks more. He tries to save face. He starts building a case. The aggressive person sits back. They watch you perform. They watch you seek approval from the room. You accepted their frame. The room feels the shift. The room now sees you as someone who can be pressured. The calm mind does the opposite. The quiet mind does not rush to defend. The peaceful mind does not beg the room for agreement. The relaxed mind holds eye contact, pauses, and lets the silence stretch. Silence is not empty. Silence is a weapon. Silence forces the other person to fill the gap. Silence exposes their neediness. Silence reveals their intention. The calm mind answers slowly, with fewer words, and with a tone that says, "You do not decide what matters here. You think people respect logic. They respect composure. They respect the man who does not flinch." Machiavelli understood that perception is power. If you look unmovable, you become unmovable in their mind. If you look like you are thinking while they are reacting, you become the center. You become the authority. The aggressive person will try again. They will interrupt. They will talk over you. They will put more pressure. They want you to snap. They want you to show emotion. Emotion is data. Emotion is leverage. When you show irritation, they learn your buttons. When you show fear, they know your limits. When you show eagerness, they understand what you crave. So the calm mind removes the reward. No visible irritation, no visible fear, no visible eagerness, just stillness. A simple line. "We will handle it after the meeting." Or, "We can discuss it when you are ready to speak professionally." You did not attack, you did not defend. You positioned yourself above the chaos. This is the first reversal. What feels weak is strong. Not reacting feels weak to you because your ego wants to respond. Your ego wants to prove. But what looks weak to your ego looks powerful to everyone watching. The man who stays calm while provoked becomes the frame. Then comes the second reversal. Approval is not a reward. Approval is a leash. Most men think being liked protects them. Being liked makes you safe. Being liked keeps conflict away. That is what the obedient mind believes. The strategist sees the cost. The cost is that you become adjustable. You become a man who changes based on the moods in the room. You become a man who negotiates his standards. You see it in relationships. You try to be a good boyfriend, the good husband, the good man. You answer quickly, you explain your schedule, you reassure yourself constantly. You think reassurance creates peace. It creates an appetite. The more you reassure, the more they test, because you taught them that pressure produces comfort. You taught them that aggression produces attention. You trained them to escalate. The calm mind does not feed that. The calm mind does not chase approval. The quiet mind rarely gives it. Approval seldom. Your approval gains weight. Scarcity creates value, not because you are playing games, but because attention is currency. You stop spending it on people who disrespect you. A partner questions you with an accusing tone. Where were you? The average man rushes to explain. The calm mind asks one question back. What is the tone for? Then silence. Then eye contact. Then you wait. If they soften, you respond briefly. If they escalate, you end the conversation. You do not argue. You do not plead. You leave the room. Distance creates authority. This is not cruelty. This is not a drama. This is the reality of boundaries. Boundaries are not speeches. Boundaries are consequences. If your boundaries are consequences, if your boundaries require long explanations, they are not boundaries. They are requests. Machiavelli respected outcomes, not intentions. He did not romanticize virtue when virtue made you weak. He respected the man who could hold a position under pressure. The calm mind holds position under pressure. The aggressive mind wants movement. When you do not move, they feel powerless. That is why calm breaks are aggressive. The third reversal is about conflict. Most men fear conflict because they confuse conflict with danger. They fear being seen as bad. They fear being misunderstood. They fear social punishment. So they avoid directness. They soften language. They smile. They hint. They hope people will get it. That is not maturity. That is fear disguised as politeness. The aggressive person loves your politeness. Politeness is a door they can push open. They take your softness and use it as permission. They borrow your morals and weaponize them. They know you do not want to look harsh, so they keep talking. They keep crossing. They keep testing. The calm mind does not fear being disliked. The calm mind fears being controlled. So the calm mind embraces clean conflict short. So the calm mind embraces clear terms. No apology for standards. Do not speak to me like that. Do not touch my things. Do not show up unannounced. We are not doing that. These lines are not emotional. They are administrative. They are the language of authority. You have seen this with friends. One friend always pushes jokes too far. They call you sensitive if you react. They call you boring if you do not laugh. You laugh anyway. You accept their frame. You think you are maintaining the friendship. You are maintaining their dominance. The calm mind breaks it with one calm correction. Do not talk to me like that. Then silence. No smile, no anger. The friend will test again to see if you meant it. If you laugh the second time, you are done. If you keep your tone and your face unchanged, the room recalibrates. People do not respect what you tolerate. They appreciate what you enforce. The moral inversion is simple. Being nice feels good. It keeps you comfortable. It also keeps you weak. Being direct feels cold. It also keeps you free. Machiavelli would not call it chilly. He would call it effective. He would call it necessary. The fourth reversal is about anger. Aggressive people use anger as a disguise. Anger is a mask for insecurity. It is also a shortcut. When someone is angry, everyone else adjusts. People love voices. People apologize. People give space. Anger becomes a remote control. You have watched someone do this at work. A manager who raises their voice, a colleague who slams a notebook, a person who gets passionate when challenged. The room goes quiet. People back off. The aggressive mind thinks it won. It did because everyone else rewarded the behavior. You break it by not rewarding it, not by matching it. Matching it is entering their court. Matching it gives them a fight they can dramatize. You break it by keeping your tone flat and your eyes calm. You say, lower your voice. Then you stop talking. You let them choose. If they lower it, you continue. If they do not, you walk away or end the meeting. You remove access. Access is power. If they cannot access you when they want, they cannot control you. You will notice something. Most people cannot handle this. They think being calm is a weakness. They think silence is surrender. They are wrong. Silence is dominance when it is chosen. Silence communicates, you do not control my nervous system. Aggressive people want to see you shake. When you do not, they start shaking inside. Machiavelli understood fear better than love, not because he was evil, but because he was honest. Love is unstable. Love depends on mood. Fear depends on consequence. Calm creates fear in aggressive people because calm suggests you are not impressed. Calm suggests you have options. Calm suggests you have options. Calm suggests you can leave without pain. That terrifies them. The fifth reversal is about being evaluated. Most men live under evaluation without realizing it. They let others decide their value. They chase praise. They fear criticism. They adjust to keep the peace. That makes them easy to manage. You see it in dating. You meet someone new, and you treat the date like an interview. You try to be impressive. You try to be funny. You try to be safe. You overshare. You fill silences. You present your resume. You become the applicant. The calm mind flips the dynamic. The quiet mind evaluates. The peaceful mind watches. The relaxed mind stays curious but not hungry. Hunger is visible. Neediness is visible. You do not have to say it. Your body says it. Your speed says it. Your long messages say it. Your instant replies say it. Your nervous laughter says it. The strategy is slower. He asks fewer questions but sharper ones. He does not chase chemistry. He watches behavior. He watches with respect. He watches how the other person handles a small boundary. He watches how they react to a calm no. People reveal themselves when they do not get immediate approval, a real-life moment. She tests you with a small disrespect. She arrives late and acts like it is normal. The average man smiles and says it is fine. He wants to be easy. He wants to be liked. He accepted her frame. He taught her that his time is cheap. The calm mind says, do not do that again. Calm tone, no anger. Then he continues the conversation. If she reacts defensively, he watches. If she apologizes sincerely, he notes it. If she repeats it, he leaves, not with drama, with finality. That is dominance, not in control of her. Control of yourself, Machiavelli would call this position. You protect your position by not begging for a seat at someone else's table. You bring your own table, or you leave. The sixth reversal is about explanation versus declaration. Weak men explain, strong men declare. Explanation is an attempt to be understood. A declaration is a statement of reality. People do not follow the man who is always trying to be understood. They follow the man who defines the situation. At work, you want a raise. The average man builds a long case. He explains his bills. He explains his workload. He explains his loyalty. He explains plans. He tries to convince me. He is asking to be valued. The calm mind declares, I am taking on X and delivering Y. My compensation needs to match the role. Then silence. Then you wait. If they negotiate, you negotiate. If they dismiss, you reduce output or you exit. The power is not in the words. The power is in the willingness to walk away. Willingness to walk away is the ultimate leverage. That is why scarcity creates value. If you are always available, you are always replaceable. You will notice the aggressive person hates declarations. Declarations remove debate. Declarations remove the playground where they manipulate. They want you to explain because explanation gives them openings. Openings for guilt, openings for shame, openings for distraction. When you declare and stop talking, they have nothing to grab. This works in family dynamics too. The family loves old roles. Family loves to keep you as the obedient child, even when you are a grown man. They ask intrusive questions. They make comments about your choices. They pressure you to comply. The average man argues. He explains. He tries to make them understand. He forgets the truth. They do not need to understand. They need to be respected. The calm mind says, I am not discussing that. Then continue eating. Then change the topic. If they push, he repeats the same line, same tone, same calm. The repetition is the point. You condition people with consistency. Aggressive people try new angles. Calm people stay on message. Aggression is aggressive because aggression depends on your movement. Calm refuses to move. The seventh reversal is about winning versus controlling the frame. Most men try to win arguments. Winning arguments is for insecure people. The real win is controlling the frame. The frame is the invisible rule of what the conversation is about, who has authority, and what counts as truth. An aggressive person says, you are selfish. The average man is, I guess, no, oh, I am not. Then he lists everything he has done. He accepted the frame that he is on trial for selfishness. He is now defending identity. That is a losing game. The calm mind rejects the frame. I am not interested in your labels. Speak in facts, or if you cannot speak respectfully, we are done. Notice the shift. You are not defending your character. You are evaluating their behavior. You moved the spotlight. Now they are being evaluated instead of you. This works everywhere. In friendships, when someone says, you changed, they mean you stopped being controllable. The average man explains, no, I did not. The calm mind says, yes, I did. Then silence. Then he watches them deal with it. People who benefited from your weakness will call your strength a problem. That is predictable. In dating, when someone says, "You are acting distant," they mean, "You are not giving me constant access." The average man rushes to reassure. The calm mind says, "I am focused." If that does not work for you, choose accordingly. You are not pleading. You are offering reality. Machiavelli would respect the man who can hold his line without apology. Now, do not misunderstand. This is not about being silent all the time. This is about choosing when to speak. You speak when it creates a position. You stay quiet when they are fishing for a reaction. You're making declarations, not explanations. You talk to set terms, not to plead for understanding. You keep your tone calm because calm is a sign of dominance. You keep your pacing slow because speed is submission. You keep your attention scarce because attention is power. Aggressive minds live on stimulation. They need conflict. They need drama. They need movement. They cannot sit with themselves. Calm minds can. That is the difference. You want to see the mechanism clearly. Aggression is pressure. Pressure seeks a leak. Most men leak through emotion. They leak through over-talking. They leak through proving. They leak through proving. They leak through apologizing. They leak through seeking approval. The strategist seals the leaks. No over-explaining, no rushing, no emotional display, no chasing, no begging. That sealing creates something that aggressive people cannot tolerate. Uncertainty. They cannot read you. They cannot predict you. They cannot push you into a role. They lose control. They start escalating. They start insulting me. They start guilt-tripping. They start bringing up the past. They start making it moral. You are cold. You are arrogant. You think you are better. These are not observations. These are tactics. They are trying to shame you back into obedience. Most men collapse here because they do not want to be seen as bad. They want to be a good man. They want to be fair. They want to be understood. That desire is the chain. You do not break the chain by arguing. You break it by accepting the cost of being misunderstood by manipulators. Machiavelli would not ask you to be loved by everyone. He would ask you to be effective. He would ask you to secure a position. He would ask you to understand that people respect what they cannot easily move. Now the consequences. If you keep living as a reactive man, you become socially invisible. Not literally unseen, but functionally irrelevant. People will talk to you when they need something. They will include you when it is convenient for you. They will ignore you when a power decision needs to be made. You will be present, but not influential. At work, you become the dependable worker, not the leader. The one who fixes problems, not the one who sets direction. The one who stays late, not the one who gets promoted. Because leadership is not about effort, it is about authority. Authority comes from frame control. If you accept other people's frames, you cannot lead. You can only support. In relationships, you become the safe option, the emotional janitor, the man who cleans up chaos, the man who absorbs moods. You will be tolerated, not valued. You will be kept around for stability, then blamed for boredom because you trained them to see you as always available, always forgiving and always explaining, always there. Scarcity creates value, and you refuse scarcity. You gave unlimited access. You turned yourself into a public utility. In friendships and family, you become the one who gets teased, interrupted, and dismissed. The one who is expected to show up but not expected to be respected. You will feel that quiet bitterness. You will call it loyalty. You will call it love. It is management. This is what being controlled looks like in adult life. It is not chains. It is an expectation. It is an expectation. It is guilt. It is social pressure. It is a constant evaluation. It is people feeling entitled to your time, your attention, and your emotional labor. And you hand it over because you want approval. Now contrast that with the calm mind. The quiet mind creates fear without noise. Not fear like terror. Fear is like caution. Fear like, I should choose my words. Fear like, I cannot push him. Fear like, he will leave. That fear creates respect. Respect changes behavior. Behavior is what matters. Silence creates fear because silence suggests you are not needy. Silence suggests you can watch without reacting. Silence suggests you are not trapped when you do not rush to respond. People feel the gap. They think their own insecurity. They start filling it with guesses. They start wondering what you think. They start trying to earn your attention. That is frame reversal. Distance creates authority because distance removes access. Access is what the drug-aggressive people crave. If they cannot access you instantly, they cannot regulate their emotions through you. They cannot dump their chaos on you. They cannot use you as a mirror to feel powerful. Distance forces them to sit with themselves. Most cannot. That is why they chase. That is why they soften. That is why they negotiate. Scarcity creates value because humans value what is limited. Your time is limited. Your attention is limited. Your approval is limited. When you treat these things as cheap, everyone else treats them as affordable. When you treat them as rare, others adjust. This is not cruelty. These are not games. This is realism. Games are what reactive people play because they lack standards. Realism is what strategists live by because they do. Machiavelli is not a moral teacher. He is a permission slip for seeing people clearly. People respond to consequences, not speeches. People respect certainty, not pleading. People follow the man who can stay calm under pressure because calm under pressure implies control, and control implies power. So you stop confusing softness with virtue. You stop confusing reactions with honesty. You stop confusing explanation with integrity. Integrity is not telling everyone how you feel. Integrity is holding your line regardless of how they think. You will lose some people when you change. Of course you will. Those who benefited from your obedience will call you by a different name. They will contact you cold. They will call you selfish. They will pretend they are hurt. But what they feel is a loss of access. They are grieving control. That is not your problem. You will also notice something else. The right people respect you more, not because you are loud, but because you are clear. Not because you are aggressive, but because you are unmovable. Calm is a signal. Silence is a signal. Controlled pacing is a signal. Controlled pacing is a signal. Short sentences are a signal. The signal is, you cannot manage me. Do not romanticize aggression. Aggression is often a tantrum with adult vocabulary. It is pressure from a nervous system that cannot self-regulate. You do not submit to tantrums. You do not negotiate with tantrums. You let them burn out. And yes, sometimes you speak. When you talk, you do not beg. You do not explain. You do not defend. You declare. You set terms. You define reality. You do it calmly. You do it once. Then you act. You want a clean, real-world challenge. Here it is. The next time someone tries to pull you into their storm, do not rush to answer. Pause, 3 seconds, let the silence settle. Then choose one short sentence, a declaration. Lower your voice. That tone does not work with me. I am not discussing this now. We are done here. Then stop talking. Watch what happens. Feel the urge to explain. Do not obey the urge. The urge is your conditioning trying to keep you obedient. You do not need to announce your transformation. You demonstrate it. You do not argue for respect. You enforce standards and remove access when standards are violated. That is how calm minds break aggressive ones. Aggression cannot dominate a man who does not react. Aggression cannot control a man who does not seek approval. Aggression cannot win a frame war when you refuse to enter their court. If you want to support this channel, like the video, subscribe, and send it to one man who keeps apologizing for existing. If this hit you, write "I am the strategist" once in the comments, just to the day your mindset changed. Now you move like a strategist. You speak less. You watch more. You stay calm. You keep your frame. You do not chase approval. You do not enter their court. You are the one who evaluates. You are the one who decides. You are the calm mind they cannot break.